Though we've never had an official dress code, the events over the past week have made us all feel as though formalizing it is the right way forward. And so, I ask unanimous consent the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of SRES 376 submitted earlier today.
The clerk will report.
SRES 376, clarifying the dress code for the floor of the Senate.
Is there objection to proceeding to the measure? Without objection, the Senate will proceed.
I ask unanimous consent the resolution be agreed to and the motions to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate.
Without objection.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about a story that, I mean, wow, we really shouldn't have to talk about in a sane society, okay? But because the United States, the West, generally, has fallen off of a cliff, we are talking about stories like this, and that is just showing basic decency and respect when you show up to work in the halls of Congress, a place that should be respected. It is sacred. It is a ton of history there. And when you have our elected representatives show up to work on behalf of the people, they need to, at the very least, look like they respect the place that they're coming to work and the job that they have to do, right? The duties that they have. Okay. But again, because we're in Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff world, you have some people in our society that believe that they don't have to do that, right? Like John Fetterman. Okay. He wants to come to work dressed like a slob, right? That's what he wants to do. And this was initially allowed by Chuck Schumer because Democrats don't believe in high standards. Okay. They want to lower standards across the board, mainly for so-called people of color, but even for people like John Fetterman too, right? I guess they have extended that to people that are disabled too, right? I mean, and that's the reason why he was allowed to get away with it is because he's, you know, I guess borderline disabled because of the stroke that he had, right? So again, because they want to lower standards for people, Chuck Schumer did not enforce an informal dress code in which they basically said, look, you know, even though it's not formalized, you need to wear business attire to work. Okay, when you come here to the Senate floor, you need to be in business attire. But again, it wasn't a formal thing. It's not something that was mandated.
Different kind of debate is escalating in Washington, not over the debt or even immigration, but about what to wear to work. ABC's Lana Moise reports on the dress code dilemma in the U.S. Senate.
This morning, some senators up in arms over Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's recent move throwing out the dress code on the Senate floor. 46 Republicans have now sent a letter urging Schumer to reverse course, calling the change misguided.
I've never seen civility enhanced or a sense of decorum enhanced by dressing like a slob.
It used to be that people looked at members of Congress and at least looked up a little bit. Now all they have to do is look down. It's disgusting.
Schumer says it's about choice, saying now senators are able to choose what they wear on the Senate floor. I will continue to wear a suit. It comes after Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman, a Democrat, faced criticism for wearing gym shorts and hooded sweatshirts.
They're just like, oh my God, you know, dogs and cats are living together. And, you know, like I said, aren't there more important things we should be talking about rather than if I dress like a slob?
Fetterman has previously voted from doorways to skirt previous Senate attire rules.
I think it's a good thing, but I'm going to use it sparingly.
The move hotly debated on The View.
I worked at Capitol Hill for many years, and when constituents came in, they would even dress up. They'd be like, these are chambers that Abraham Lincoln walked in, John McCain, John F. Kennedy, Lyndon Johnson. Mm-hmm. There's a hallowed sort of ground to it.
I, too, walked all of those halls, and I walked into the Supreme Court building, and I walked into federal courtrooms all the time. And you don't wear jeans, and you don't wear hoodies, and you don't wear what you would wear coming out of the gym.
I don't care what you wear as long as you get the job done.
Yeah.
So now, after a bunch of backlash, not just from Republicans, but also from Democrats as well, too, the politicians have reversed course, okay? And a unanimous vote, right? We decided that, you know what, maybe senators, politicians, elected representatives should come to work dressed up formally when they enter the halls of Congress to go on the floor to vote.
What was your reaction to all the hubbub over the dress code?
Mystifying again. You know, I maintain that don't we have a lot of really more important things that we should be addressing here about the Senate. But I think it's we've all moved on, and that's certainly my hope.
Did you have any conversations with Senator Schumer about this or any of your colleagues?
I have not. I have met colleagues on either side of the aisle, casually running in saying it. They're like, hey, it's cool. It's no problem. I got no issue, that kind of thing. No one has directly come to me and said, the world will burn if you, wear a hoodie, kind of thing.
Why do you not wear a suit? What is your reason for dressing like wearing a hoodie, shorts, and dressing like?
Comfort, basically, and it's kind of hard to find suits, kind of this size too. And I believe that it's not the person that is made by how they dress as well too. I mean, yet you're still willing to speak to me, and I'm in a hoodie, and you're in a suit. If you would have showed up, dressed like Spider-Man, I still would have been delighted to speak to you because I know you're a professional, and I'm delighted to do that. So, and particularly our staffers, are not well paid here in DC, and they work very hard, and that is a major financial burden, including dry cleaning as well too. I have a dynamic staff. I don't care what they're dressed in too. It's like as long as they're comfortable and continue to serve our nation.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? John Fetterman there in shock, right? In shock that people actually do care about our politicians showing up to work not looking like they're homeless, okay? Not looking like somebody from off the street, looking like they actually understand the gravity of the job that they've been tasked with from the American people. And, for me personally, even though John Fetterman says he'll suit up, I think that this guy should just resign, right? I really do think he should resign, right? He says that Congress has much more important things to worry about. He's right. I agree with him. We have a sitting senator who took months off. He went missing in action because he was depressed. And also, again, he refuses to come on the floor dressed appropriately. Yeah, we do have things to worry about, like him, right? So he should step down so that the Senate can deal with more important issues, okay? Because if John Fetterman steps down, then we don't have to worry about him anymore, right? He's not an issue, okay? But he has been an issue before in the past. So yeah, he's right. We do have more issues to worry about in Congress besides how he dressed. We need to worry about just him in general. So he should step down so we have less issues to worry about. I can't believe that Pennsylvania actually voted for this guy, right? I cannot believe that they voted to put this guy in office. It really blows my mind. It really does. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get why in the world is this country voting in the direction that we vote in. Okay, I mean, this is why I'm not a big fan of democracy, because with democracy, you get John Fettermans, you get the Joe Bidens, you get the Brandon Johnsons. Okay, with democracy, that's how you get Portland. Okay, that's how you get San Francisco. That's how you get the destruction and chaos that we have in our country, right? Again, I'm a fan of educated people voting, right? People who actually, understand what they're voting for. And in the case of Pennsylvania, during the midterms, it was one of those swing states that the thought vote, the 304 vote, the Garden Tools of America vote, they came out and voted in droves for John Fetterman because of their so-called right to abortion, right? That's what happened in his state. And also, I mean, Dr. Oz wasn't the best candidate either, but still, I mean, if you look at the exit polls, that is the primary reason why John Fetterman got elected. And that's also the reason why when asked about abortion up until birth, I mean, this guy basically has come out and supported it, right? I don't think there should be any restrictions when it comes to this issue, according to John Fetterman.
Do you support any restrictions on abortion?
I don't. I've always believed...
Even in the third trimester?
I believe that choice is between a woman, her doctor, and a God if she prays to one.
Yeah, again, radical Democrat, right? Extremely radical Democrat who doesn't believe in any limits when it comes to that issue of life. Again, it's absolutely Sickening. It really is. But like I said, I guess you can give the politicians a W, right? A small W for voting for common sense, right? It doesn't happen too much in Congress, but in this case, they actually voted the right way. Again, it still is a damn shame that they have to do this in order to force a guy to actually show up to work dressed appropriately. And I also think that they shouldn't just allow him to vote from the door. Right? No, you shouldn't be allowed to just vote from the door to try to skirt the rules. Absolutely not. You need to be on the floor. If you're physically able to be on the floor, you need to be on the floor, and you need to vote on the floor with a suit on like a respectable elected representative. You shouldn't be allowed to just skirt around rules. The dude shows up outside the door with a hoodie and shorts on and looking like a bum, and he's, right, yes, here's my vote, okay, while he's hanging out the door. Again, it's unprofessional. It's embarrassing, okay? And I'm sick and tired of our country being embarrassed by these politicians. I mean, it's already bad enough that we got a brain-dead fool in the White House. It's even worse that seems to be a common thing in Congress. Between being too old, right, and, whatever John Fetterman's dealing with, again, it's too much. It really is. It is too much, and I'm sick and tired of seeing it. We cannot continue to degrade ourselves as a country, lowering our standards for these types of individuals. And again, it's one side of the political aisle pushing this stuff the most, whether it comes to this issue or whether it even comes to our kids and their education and the standards that we hold them to, whether it comes to criminals in these neighborhoods destroying these liberal cities. Again, the downfall of society is lowering our standards, and we've done that across the board, and this is the result, right? This is the result. The current state that this country's in, falling off a cliff, is exactly what the result is of having low standards. So, hey, let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.